So February is Aboriginal storytelling month, and I was going through my shelf and finding books on different cultures, stories from different cultures. This one is called Why the Beaver Has a Flat Tail, and it's it's an Ojibwe legend. So I'll read this one. Somebody has translated it into Cree, so that's pretty neat that that's in there. I'll read it in English. Why the beaver has a flat tail. Here we go. Long, long ago, the animals were different than they are today. The beaver had a long, thin tail, and the muskrat had a big, flat tail. One day, a beaver and a muskrat were playing happily in the water. What fun they had, paddling around and diving in and out of the cool, clear water. Suddenly, the beaver stopped and listened for a moment. He said to himself, "My, what a nice sound the muskrat's tail makes when it hits the water. How I wish I had a tail like that. My tail doesn't make any noise at all." So he really likes the muskrat's tail. The beaver went over to the muskrat. "Hello, muskrat," he said. "Do I ever like the nice sound that your tail makes when it hits the water. My, how I wish I had a tail like yours. Could we trade tails for just a little while?" The muskrat said, "All right." And so the two animals traded tails. So now the beaver has the muskrat's tail and the muskrat has the beaver's tail. How excited and happy the beaver was. He turned this way and that way, looking at his nice tail. Then the beaver jumped into the water. He smiled happily as his new tail slapped the water. It was a beautiful sound. So the beaver was really happy. The muskrat stood by the water watching the beaver splash and play. He began to feel sorry about trading his tail. He wanted his own tail back again. So when the beaver came out of the water, the muskrat said to him, "Please give me back my tail now." The muskrat just didn't want to be without it any longer. But the beaver didn't want to ever give the tail back. Quickly he ran into the bush. Now the poor muskrat knew that the beaver had tricked him. Now he knew that the beaver didn't want to give him back his tail. The muskrat was very, very unhappy. He chased after the beaver, crying, "Beaver, bring that tail back so I can carry it around too." It was no use. The beaver would not give back the tail. So that's how the beaver got his flat, wide tail, and he still has it to this day. The end.